You're listening to KD10 Blog Talk Radio's Music Interview, and our artist today is RG Ingersoll, and this is show number 2. Thank you for listening. Here we go. We were signed to Motown, but we exclusively work for the Gordy family. It was basically said when we walked into the studio of any of the artists, they basically used to laugh and say, "Oh, the Gestapo's here."
The henchmen. Here comes Gwen's pirates and thugs. Gangsters coming in. Clear the studio out. Yeah. That I can recall when they told us. Gwen called us in the office. Kenny, do you remember when we had just cut 4 or 5, tracks, and we had been. I think it was our first week cutting demos upstairs inside the that little studio we had. Yeah, a little 8-track studio.
That's good for you.
We got called into the office. Isn't that right, Kenny? Gwen called us in, and she flat out just said, "You guys are out of there. You ain't in there no more." And I thought, and so did you, Kenny. I thought you thought too. What'd we do? And then the next minute, you turn around and say, "You're in 24-track now, and I don't want anybody to know what you're doing or where you're at in this corporation." And and then I asked her, I said, "Well, why is that?" And she said, "What'd you say, Kay? Yeah, I'm disrupting the whole administrative floor." The tracks were going through, I guess, through the walls. So cool. I wasn't out there behind the typewriters and the computers. I just looked out and seen them dancing here and there. But it was only 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So
Then from there, what we got? Oh, we also lost our office up there. It's on the 16th floor. They abandoned us. They abandoned us from the building and sent us to the mansion. And the mansion, boy, it was really rough, right? I mean, we're gonna talk about the mansion in Beverly Hills. Let's go. This is fun. You got to hear this. Start it from the beginning.
Oh boy, where do you go on this one? Okay, we had been segregated from the corporation, our sessions and stuff. Gwen never really gave us a real explanation why or what she had up her sleeve. Okay, but she made damn sure that, hey, our sessions, no matter where she sent us to whatever studio, were classified, top secret, period, as you know, Kenny. But we didn't know what that was all about. And then when we moved into the Motown mansion to do our stuff and take care of our business we were once again under very, secure type orders and caution daily on watch out for the press.
This house was formerly built by Bugsy Siegel.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely true. I guess you could say where we were drinking our Cavassier and Coke was probably 10 feet from where they shot him.
I guess so. I tell you, the house was magnificent. First time I came there, and I guess RG had been there several times before me, but I was just in awe of the building itself. The architectural design of it is absolutely fantastic. I mean, when you open up the doors, you walk into a foyer that has a fountain, a huge fountain that could be in anybody's courtyard. And this is just the entrance to the house. And then up at the top, remember that big old mural?
Oil. It was a huge, gigantic oil painting of Berry Gordy dressed as Napoleon. And it was It was like, there for a minute you thought it was really Napoleon, but it was Barry.
And she said, what you tell us? She said, in this house we call him PG, Mr. Gordy. And I tell you, when we got signed to Motown, it was the craziest thing. We looked around, and there was maid services, and we had our own offices in the back, and our own studio in the back, and it was love at first sight. And then Miss Gordy sitting there, looking at us with a little small frame, a little cute little thing, and she looked around and she said, "This house was bought by Hit Records," didn't she?
Yeah, exactly. This is what Hit Records get you. I think the most the pride possession for me to even touch and look at was that Pearl concert grand piano in one of the living rooms that she had there. That was the tune. That was the piano that so many hit tunes came off of.
Incredible. But back to the house. This house was bought with hits. And she looked at us two young men, or three of us sitting there, and she goes, "And you guys, you remember that, RG? You guys," she says, "I don't want Hit Records. What do I want?
Smashes. Do you know the difference between a smash and a hit? About $3 million.
So the only thing that we could do was write Hit Records. We still looking to write that smash.
Yeah, right. We're still going on Gwen's orders.
Trying to write a smash hit. As old men, we're hanging in there.
I think I will share this. One of our duties around the house, as Kenny would tell you, at a certain time, I think it was around 10:30 in the morning, this huge Greyhound tour bus would pull around the corner and pull up in front of the house, you know. Well, we'd have to be out there waving at this bus and letting them take photographs of us. We don't know who they were saying we were, but those people on the bus were snapping pictures. And we had to be out there every morning about 10:30 when the bus came by and wave to them. You know?
That was fun. In Gwen's house, in the corner, back in one of the closets, was a slot machine. You remember that?
Well, she had four of them right there.
Oh, no. I only remember when she had the one. Oh, no. She got three more.
Yeah, she had three more in there. And what, 20 back-end tables and a sound stage. And, oh, man. Yeah, you know, that's where the high energy did everything, their rehearsals. And that's where we all had everything, you know, everything was done there.
But back to the slot machines.
Oh, Lord. You know, and I think they were what, nickels and quarters. No, they were all quarter machines.
And rumor has it that they were given to her, put by Harris or MGM Grand, somebody.
You know, one of the big casinos gave them to her, you know, and they worked. They definitely worked, because I've seen people winning on them.
Well, one of the stories is that the reason why Gwen had these lovely machines, and it was that at least on one of them she lost $50,000 in one. Rumor has it,
something like that. Yeah, that kind of a machine. I forget now, but it was a story and a half. You know, we have so many stories, Kenny. There's not enough radio waves to cover them. You know, yeah, I mean, from that place, I mean, either during work hours and after work hours. You know, it was just, you know, it's like living inside the pulse of, I don't know, some kind of a whole creative planet.
Yeah. So anyway, we, and I include myself in that, we were the Motown family's hitmen. And the ace in the hole for Miss Gordy. Yes, we were. And I tell you, it was a unique time when I got there. I left early because basically I felt that I couldn't really contribute anymore to the situations. And I kind of wanted to go into my own direction and start my own company anyway. So, but RG, as I said, he was the last man standing with the keys in his hand when Motown closed their doors. RG Ingersoll, last man standing at the now great renowned Motown Records.
Kenny, getting back to what we said earlier about us being a hush hush micro production within Gwen's castle, Gwen Gordy's operation. Maybe so there's no vagueness here. It was all about. Gwen knew that the corporation basically had to make some changes, and since her and Anna really were the founders of it, they felt, Gwen kind of felt that she needed a whole new musical concept on a visionary basis to come together and maybe save the corporation. That was her. That was Gwen's really hidden agenda. And I wish she would have kind of told us that right from the gate. But she didn't say anything to any of us. And we really didn't understand any of the secrecy or why we weren't allowed to do this and that in the corporation. And we didn't understand why. And then we found out that there was bad blood going on between her and the company. And the Jew white boys will just say, running it, which is cool with me because they take care of good business, So we'll pull that part out.
Yes, we shall. Since we're on that subject, our records are now collector's items. Like I said, when I got to the company, the bodies were already on the floor and they was putting on name tags on the toes. The damage had already been basically done. And it wasn't going to say damage. And we referred to the new heads of the company in Motown was Barney Ailes. Okay, he ran the show. Berry Gordy and Suzanne DePasnim, they ran off to do movies, and they liked movies better than they liked records. Well, first of all, it paid more. You can't fight that. And in Motown, and you could see the change, tremendously. I mean, being signed to Motown family, we had our artists. RG had Pat Boone, T.G. Shepherd. Okay? That's just of two. He had high energy, and he worked with everybody else. From the Miracles. Oh, my goodness. Everybody, the Temptation, the Commodores, Rick James, Tina Marie. It goes on and on and on. But who was your favorite artist to work with at Motown?
G.C. Cameron. Me. I guess because we're both vets, and since he did 2 tours, as a Marine in Nam, me and him kind of stood out. Like we were outcasts. Me and G.C. Cameron were. Nobody could relate to us because we just had that gung-ho attitude. We weren't doing no drugs either. We were just gung-ho. Period. Let's get it on. Let's do it.
Getting it on. G.C. Cameron, one of your favorite artists. And it is any of you who don't know, the Spinners, and it's a shame. That was one of them. And I tell you, and he went on to do other great things. You wrote a song for Mr. G.C. Cameron for a movie called Cooley High. And this is on the internet, by the way, for any of you guys that are listening. You can just do RG Ingersoll. It'll come up, and it's on one of the blogs talking about, oh, goodness, what are we talking about? Writing songs for the song Cooley High. RG and Lee Rogers actually had the song. And it's underneath it, you can hear it. And this was done for G.C. Cameron. And then at the last minute, they flipped and picked another song. Isn't that amazing? You have been listening to KDTN Blog Talk Radio Music and Review, and that was show number 3, RG Ingersoll. Thanks for listening. This has been a production of SDC Radio Networks, a division of SDC Omni Media Group. This has been your host, Kenny Smith, and we thank you for listening.